and welcome to this evening's meeting of Norfolk City Council. It is the appointed time. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to also inform the public about the location of the Open Meetings Act. It's posted on the wall adjacent to the entryway that comes in here for members of the public to review it if you want that way. And if you would, stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and would you please call roll, Beth?
Rehnquist.
Here.
Lange.
Here.
Merrill.
Here.
Wiebelhaus.
Here.
Murin.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Clausen.
Here.
File.
Here.
And I'd ask for approval of the consent agenda with the exception of moving item 13 to the regular agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Your Honor, I'm going to abstain from the consent agenda, reference item 15.
Okay. Would you please vote?
All council members present voting in the affirmative. Councilman Wiebelhaus abstaining.
And then the next item is approval of the full agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Please vote.
All council members present voting in the affirmative.
Okay, that will bring us to our first item is a special presentations. And Tracy Jeffries, I believe, is going to speak to it. If you would do us the honor. And Tracy's with the Norfolk Area Visitors Bureau.
Good evening, Council President and City Council members. Thank you for having us. My name is Tracy Jeffrey, the Executive Director for the Norfolk Area Visitors Bureau, and alongside me is Ron Stauffer, President of the Board. Annual festivals that bring thousands to the area, special entertainment events, ongoing attractions and recreations, these are all the things that continue to provide excitement and stability to Madison County. Tourism increased in 2018. 292,000 visitors visited the Norfolk area, which is up 4.5% from 2017. Those visitors spent $46.6 million in our community and generated 670 jobs. Average daily spending in Madison County for overnight stays is $165, while day visitors spent $94. Some of our accomplishments in 2018 included hosting 7 bus tours, which is up 6, and then assisted 39 conventions, family reunions, class reunions, which is up 46% from 2017. Spearheading the Downtown Sculpture Walk along with your partnership with the City of Norfolk. And securing NSAA state play productions, contracting through 2024, contributing new events like the Southwest Cattle Dog Association and the International Baseball Game. As you can see, Madison County tourism is thriving and continuing to grow each year. And the Norfolk Area Visitors Bureau is looking forward to working with you in the future of tourism. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Tracy?
Or Ron?
Or comments? Or Ron, excuse me. Yes, I'm sorry.
I got no answer. She does a tremendous job. Really does.
Tracy, I don't have any questions, but just a comment that pretty bright. Things looked good last year, and we certainly hope that they come around and look that way next year as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
You bet.
I would echo that, along with, just run into a lot of people that have been extremely excited about the artwork that's been displayed, and also many of the other events that are being hosted. The comments are that they're being run well, and that the city's very clean that way, so thank you for all your efforts.
Well, and thank you
So-
for your partnerships too.
So the other question I would have is, I get comments from time to time, we'll come out and we'll say, well, so many visitors were here and they spent X amount of dollars and it's tourism. But a lot of folks like to point out, well, some of those people are in town building things and they're construction workers. And do you have a feel for what percentage of that 292 that might be?
I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
We don't have a breakdown
I didn't.
of that. I would just say that even if they are here for working, they're still going out and they're going out to eat. They're probably going to stop at a local retail shop. So they're still, whether they're here for a business trip or they're traveling through for tourism, that they're still spending.
Yeah, well, that's
Those
kind of what I tell
dollars.
everybody too,
Yeah.
is that we don't really break it down to that. It's hard to do that, but just be thankful that they are here and they are spending their dollars here.
Exactly. And that's why we try to come up with those new events of trying
Sure.
to bring people to our community.
Once again, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, then it takes us back to our regular agenda. The first item that we have on that is item 13, is consideration of resolution number 2019-44, extending the city LARM participation for additional 2 years and requiring a 180-day notice of intent not to extend LARM participation beyond September 30th, 2022. Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, Lyle.
Good evening, President and Council. The topic of discussion here is renewal of the LARM coverage for workers' comp, property and liability coverage that we talked about previously for 3 years, starting October 1 in 5-6 weeks or so, and 3 years after that, 1920, 2021, 21-22, and that'll maximize the 5% rebate potential or discount potential for the long-term renewal. I do my best to answer any questions you may have.
And I think that was the biggest thing. Everybody was just wanted to make sure that we were getting the maximum return.
We're
or rebate
maximizing it to
that
the
way,
best of our
so.
ability, President.
Okay.
All right?
Any other questions, concerns? Thank you. Any discussion? If not, would you please vote?
Your Honor, I'm going to declare conflict and abstain.
Okay.
All council members present voting in the affirmative. Councilmember Weeblhoff's abstaining. Resolution 2019-44 is adopted.
Okay, that brings us then into public hearings and related actions. We have one public hearing scheduled for this evening. It's a public hearing to consider amendment to the city code to enact section 27-352 to create parking restrictions on residential lots. I'd like to open this public hearing. I guess to kick it off, Val, could you give us some background on it?
Yes, thank you. This ordinance before you tonight has come up on and off over the years, and staff was asked to put an ordinance before you all. And this ordinance has parking restrictions for residential lots in the front and the side, and so that you would need to have pavement for the front and the side, not the rear. That is not part of the restriction of this ordinance currently. Unless you would want that added on, you can amend it. Where the rear comes in is if you do pave it, then there is a certain restriction on how many square feet of your rear yard that you would be able to pave if you want to pave.
Again, this is a, excuse me, is a public hearing, and I ask if there is anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this proposed change, either pro or against that way. Seeing none, do we have a planning commission report on this?
Yes. The Norfolk Planning Commission held a public hearing on August 6, 2019 to consider an amendment to the official city code to enact section 27-352 to create parking restrictions on residential lots. The Planning Commission voted on approve it on an 8-0 vote.
Had some citizens talk to me and are concerned about some of the information that we have in this ordinance. And I don't know if it's really something we want to start to talk about amongst the council meeting right now, or there's something we can table and bring into a subcommittee format and discuss some of the loopholes and issues that have been, brought to my attention.
Okay, so at this point, we're at the public hearing portion, so we're really, we can't, yeah. Is there anyone else again in the audience who wishes to speak either in favor or in opposition, or who just merely wants to comment regarding these proposed changes? If not, I would like to close this public hearing and ask for consideration of ordinance number 5626, approving an amendment to the city code to enact section 27-352 to create parking restrictions on residential lots.
I'm going to suggest that we table the ordinance, send it back to subcommittee to, as Councilman Clausen had mentioned, to clean up some of the language in there that more closely identifies or talks about some of the questions that we're getting from the public.
I'd second that.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded that we table action on ordinance number 5626. Yeah, and so there is no discussion. I ask for your vote.
All council members present voting in the affirmative. Motion to table carries.
Okay. And that'll go back to subcommittee, I believe, or back to Val for work that way, so. Next item is, on the regular agenda, is consideration of approval of plans and specifications and the engineer's estimate on file of city offices for 2019 Norfolk Bridge repairs and authorization for the city clerk to advertise for bids.
I'll make a
Steve-
motion.
Or, excuse me, yeah.
Second.
Steve, throw that to you.
Councilman, what's before you is approval to advertise for bids for the 2019 bridge repair contract. This is a maintenance contract designed to repair specifically 3 bridges here in the community that are suffering from distress in the deck, approach slabs, and abutments. Specifically, we're referring to Benjamin Avenue over the levee, Elm Street over the old Norfolk Channel, and First Street over the levee on the north side of town. The project would be, bids would be opened on September 12th. Construction could start this fall. On the Elm Street project specifically, we've requested that that be done after school, so next summer. That is a route that's tends to be heavily used for school traffic. Each of the bridges is approximately 2 months, month and a half to 2 months in length for construction repairs. We don't see anything real significant there, but generally it's deck delamination, deck spalls, full depth spalling, partial depth spalling, some bridge guardrail repair. If we can, we'll take an opportunity here with this project and do an asphalt underlayment behind the guardrail to kind of keep the weeds from growing up helps us with maintenance. So we'll be addressing some of those issues as we can on the project. Another part of this, when we went out for design services and looked at and did an assessment on several bridges here in the community, the Norfolk Avenue Bridge over the levee was the other bridge that we looked at. We kind of ran out of funding for those repairs or potential repairs. And we did ask them to do some coring on that deck and see if there was a high salinity in the deck, which might indicate that the deck was beyond potential repair and would just need to be replaced in the near future. Those test results did come back favorable, low salinity in the deck concrete. And so we think that potentially some deck repair and an overlay on that deck would be in line here for the next year or so. So we will continue to explore that option as well.
Okay.
Steve, on these repairs on the bridges, will traffic be maintained on the majority, or which ones will you try to maintain traffic and which not?
If it's a 4-lane bridge, so Norfolk Avenue, Benjamin Avenue, we would be able to maintain traffic during most of the work. There does come a point where we're pouring concrete back in, where we like to keep speeds down to 15 miles an hour or lower. But I think that's maintainable on the 4-lane bridges. The 2-lane bridges, Elm and North First Street, we would probably have to close those or flag one-way traffic or something like that during construction.
But what we're going out for bids now doesn't include East Norfolk Avenue.
It does not include Norfolk. It'd be North First Street if I'm sorry, but if I said East Norfolk, but no, it does not include East Norfolk.
All right, thank you.
I would, looking at the information that's coming back, we could potentially explore a change order, but some of that work, a mill and overlay, is beyond the scope of the existing project. So I foresee a separate project to maintain that.
Any other questions?
Since there's 3 bridges involved, do we bid this as a lot, or is each bridge bid by itself?
It's bid as one project. There's 3 bid schedules in the project, Schedule A, B, and C, so we have a number for each one of those bridges. So we put that into our bridge maintenance system, how much we're spending on each structure. But it is one big bid.
And when the bids are let and construction starts, are they doing them separately or concurrently? How are they gonna do that?
Potentially concurrently, the North First Street and Benjamin could be concurrent.
I wondered.
Elm would not, most
Okay.
likely not be.
All right, so potentially disruptive for 4 months, not 6.
If they're doing them concurrently, it would be probably in that 2-month range total for
Okay.
those areas.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Not, I ask for your vote.
All council members present voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
That, I believe, brings us to the end of our agenda, so we are adjourned.